Hey guys, Miguel here. Thank you for being here. Today I am going to talk about the type of people that you need to avoid in your life, like the coronavirus. These are people who will, not a matter of if, but a matter of when, fuck up your life and your business. And you really need to avoid these people. And, in health, wealth, love, and happiness, love is really the hardest one to balance. So we need these principles I'm going to share with you today to make sure that achieving the good life, a life of health, wealth, love, and happiness is as easy as possible. So who are these people? Well, let me take you to the whiteboard. So guys, the first type of person we want to avoid are people who are both weird, and let me tell you how we're going to quantify this. So people who are weird, but they have to break this certain rule of this 20% weird factor, okay? 20% weird factor, guys. And what the 20% weird factor means, or represents, is that everybody can be a little weird, okay? You're a little weird. Hey, I have a little bit, things that are weird about me. Every human does. We all have our quirks and nuances, right? And, weird isn't really the opposite of status quo. But there's a certain threshold, when you get past, when you know someone, when there's someone past this 20% mark, you know, you trust me, when someone is 30, 40, 50, 60% of like who they are as a person is like weird. And when we say weird, we're just kind of taking society as general. You're going to have problems. This is a dangerous person. There's also another part of it that I'll get to in a second. But basically, our brains are wired for us to want to fit into society, to want to be like the people around us so we can all function. And the people who surpass this 20% weird factor, who are something like 40, 50, 60% weird, it's a sign that their brain is not necessarily firing on all cylinders or on too many. If you take the case of someone like Albert Einstein, who smelled really bad, or Vincent van Gogh, who cut off his own ear. But here's the other part to this, guys. If they are more than the 20% weird factor and insecure people, will cause havoc in your life, guys, I promise you. But when people are more than 20% weird and insecure, that is a very dangerous person that you need to avoid like the coronavirus. Seriously, guys, keep these people away from your life and your business. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they will fuck you over. Little personal anecdote for you guys. So I knew someone in high school who was weird and insecure, and he was one of my buddies. And maybe he was probably like 30% weird, right? 35% weird, not too weird. Most of his weirdness kind of came out in messed up humor, and we were all immature, like 16, 17-year-olds. So we were whatever, we were cool with him. Me and this kid were friends for a good year. We had deep, serious conversations that friends have, and hung out and stuff. Spent every day at school together, right? Well, most days at least. And me and him were both interested in a particular pretty female. Boys in high school, I know, right? He was aware that I was into her, and I was aware that he was into her. And what I ended up realizing one day, or learning one day, that when I was talking to this girl, she basically told me, she came at me a little aggressive. I was like, what's wrong? What I do? And she told me that this particular individual, Mr. Weird and Insecure, told her all these lies about me, like lies. And I was like, oh shit. Not to go into details, but basically Miguel is a really bad dude, and you want to stay away from him or whatever. And upon hearing this, I swipe out of the conversation, scroll down a little bit, because I was probably talking to the dude just a couple days ago, and go on him and did you say this stuff? And he gives me this, yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, I'm such a piece of shit. I wouldn't understand totally if you never wanted to talk to me again, or if you hate me and stuff. I'm just first I was confused. I was like, why the hell would you do that? I didn't know this rule. This is why he did that. Super insecure. He was scared of losing what he didn't even have. That girl to me, just because he was insecure. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the exact reason why me and this pretty female never actually got anywhere. But that's besides the point. This is just to illustrate that people who are both weird and insecure, again, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Avoid them like the coronavirus. Second type of person you need to avoid, and I'll not say like the coronavirus this time because I love saying that, but they are people who have the cabbage mind. People with the cabbage mind, a funny little term I got from Ty Lopez, have really strong, unfounded beliefs. You will see this a lot in stuff like politics. Some people are out there and they believe very strongly in, like, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican. And their only basis for having that stance, having that opinion, is because someone like their mom or their dad or their aunt or their older brother or their older sister had that opinion and kind of told them, like, hey, we're Republicans, you should be a Republican. And they were like, okay. that was their thought process, was, okay. Just because they were told this thing. And it's not because of the research they did or, the facts, right? Or their logic or reasoning. It's because their parents told them that they were Republican, their parents were Republican, they encouraged it, or Democrat, vice versa, whatever. And this applies to a lot of areas. I mean, religion too. There are some people out there who are only the religion they are because their parents were, and they never bothered to question it. You see that not questioning part is the real kicker there. Because you can be the same religion or the same political affiliation as your parents and have it still be your own opinion. Because you know what you did? You went out into the real world and you looked around and you looked at, facts and data and information. And you're like, hey, you know what? I agree with this stuff. I actually gave it some thought. And some of you guys have different ones. And especially you, I'd imagine you have some sort of story behind it, some sort of reasoning, some sort of experiences that kind of got you to the beliefs that you have. But you see, people with the cabbage mind, people who are prone to having really strong, unfounded beliefs, like, these people will not budge on anything. Honestly, they're a little insecure too. They're too afraid of being wrong that they want to stick to their guns with everything they believe in. The way these people are going to screw you over is, well, first off, if they're prone to really strong, unfounded beliefs, they can have really strong, unfounded beliefs created by other people against you. If you are a business owner and one of your employees, or your two employees are friends, and one of your employees convinces the other employee that you are underpaying them, that you are cheating them out of something, vacation time, just something, anything you can really think of, any absurd thing you can think of, and their only thought process in confirming that is, wow, this person said that, Miguel's doing really bad stuff to me, it must be true. And then because these are really strong, unfounded beliefs, they're going to retaliate. Like, you're going to go and your car's going to be keyed. your tire's going to be popped, or just work is going to go missing. There's going to be a fire in your office because you had a person in your business who had a cabbage mind, who was prone to strong, unfounded beliefs. And this is something really, really dangerous. You need to avoid these people. Like how? How, guys? Like the motherfucking coronavirus. Now, some final thoughts before I'll go on to the last little bit of this. You need to find your tolerance. How much weird can you tolerate? Honestly, for insecure, I suggest you tolerate very little insecurity. All of us are insecure in some areas. People both at the top and bottom. There are some really wealthy people who are very insecure. There are really poor people who are very insecure. There are a lot of wealthy people who are very secure. And there are a lot of not so wealthy people, even poor people, who are also very secure. There are all kinds of different colors in this world. Because, you might be someone who can only handle someone who's like 5% weird, or maybe you're more open-minded and, love, bringing in new people to your life and, of all different, colors, I'll call it. And you can handle the 30% weird factor, but be very, very careful with those people still. And then, of course, the cabbage mind. There are probably people in your life who have even just one of these guys. If you know of just one of these, first of all, they have others. They definitely have others. And you do not want that kind of person in anywhere positions. You don't want any of these people in positions critical to either your life or your business. You don't want these people being your spouse. You don't want these people taking care of your children. You don't want these people having your bank account info, managing your social media profiles. I bet some of you guys have some really sketchy social media managers. You might want to get rid of those. And we're going to phase these people out over the next 18 months, guys. That's what we're going to commit to today. Because again, it's not a matter of if. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I don't want you to get screwed over. I want you to live a good life. This is how you balance the love aspect in health, wealth, love, and happiness. So here's a little activity for us to do. I have 3 things for you guys, okay? The first one, Take one person critical to you in either your life or your business, and I want you to rate them. What is their weird factor? 1 through 100%. Okay, are they a 5? Are they a 10? Are they right at that 20? Are they a 40? And maybe you should be a little concerned right now? Let me know. Number 2, and this is a fun one, what is your weird factor? 1 through 100%. And guys, remember, weird isn't necessarily the opposite of status quo. We are kind of looking at society in general here when we're judging these weird factors. But you can have weird ideas. You can be a little bit of a weird person. Try not to have both. Try not to be a really weird person who has really weird ideas. But you can have one or the other, right? I think there's a quote where it's like, hey, you know what? You can be, this isn't a paraphrase of a quote, you can be a nudist and still be, a fine guy, right? You still be a respectable person. You can be a Buddhist and still be, a fine, respectable person. But you can't be a nudist Buddhist. That's a little too weird. I think it starts breaking these rules. Number 3, insecure people. How are you dealing with them? Not only from this point forward, but from every point up until now. Have you kept them in your life in the past? Have you tried to babysit their insecurities? Have you just dealt with them? Me personally, I have no room for insecure people in my life. I realized this actually a while ago. My first serious girlfriend, very insecure. They're going to bring just trouble into your life, guys. You don't want to be surrounded by really insecure people because as soon as they see you as a threat, they will bite you where it really, really hurts. So what's your plan for phasing out these insecure people, these weird people in your life over the next 18 months? Good thing that you know this now because you can start doing it slowly. But there are some people that you might want to pick up the pace a little bit, really get them out of your lives. Again, guys, this is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I want you all to live lives of health, wealth, love, and happiness. This is very important principles to have for the love part of your life. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I brought amazing value to you. That's always my goal with these videos. Thank you guys for watching this far. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more. I want to hear your answers to these questions in the comments down below. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Peace out.